Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Today, the beginning of this video is a box opening of an A55 Blackview phone. Okay, and you think, cell phone. Okay, but think about this. This puppy is under 120 US dollars. Budget telephone. It's got a 6.5 inch display, just over 6.5 inch display on it. It's got a 3 gigabyte RAM and 16 gigabytes of ROM. This is for under $120 American, guys. Like, think about this. It's got a 4780 mAh battery, which means this little guy can go days without recharging. Like, seriously. Cameras, front 5 megapixel, back 8 megapixel. So it's got really good. We don't need this on here. Let's get rid of that. This little bad boy has a quad 4 processor. I know, for under 120 bucks. I can't believe this. And it's powered by Android 11. Go figure, eh? So when you're thinking about buying a cell phone and you don't want to spend a lot of cash, A55 Blackview phone. And you know, because I'm like this, when I see something like this, I think, you know, what are the little special things? It's got face unlock. It recognizes the owner of the phone. Sure, you can have your fingerprint and you can have your little codes and whatever. But this guy recognizes your face. Yeah, one of those little things, eh? All for 120 bucks, under 120 American dollars. A55 Blackview, beautiful little phone. In the description below, go there, buy one of these puppies. They are worth it, I guarantee it. Now, let's move over. Pushing phones is finished for the day. Let's move over and let's go through some of the comments. Every once in a while, Gweilo picks a comment out of the comment section and I put it in a Word program. And I do it for a specific reason, because that particular comment sort of sparks something in me. I either say, yeah, that how true is that? Or it sparks debate, or it's just a really good comment. So let's go over to my big computer and let's go through some of the comments that I've picked out over the last couple weeks. So here we are over at the big computer, what I call a big computer, the one that all my work gets done on. And of course, Gweilo has to have a beer when he's doing this stuff because it's in my nature, it's what I do. It's cold outside. Only like 8 above at a high and 6 as a low for Nanning. Like, this is subtropical area. This is, oh my God. So here we go. Let's start with MX1. Someone said the West are being brainwashed about China, just like the North Koreans are being brainwashed about the West. I think there's some truth in this. Well, it basically says it all, right? You get mainstream media in the West telling people what China's about. You get all of these reporters, these journalists that have never been to China, telling you what China's about. You've seen all of the videos that I've been doing lately on this misconception. Well, he calls it brainwashing, MX1 does. I call it misinformation. I call it deliberate lies to the people of the United States, to the people of Canada, UK. And most of these people have never been to China, so they listen to their mainstream media in their country. Brainwashing, sure. North Korea, well, everybody knows that they're just not telling the truth to their people. Or maybe their people know it's better outside than inside. I don't know, I've never been to North Korea, but I know that in the United States, they think their world is way better than the world in China. They think that they've got a superior political system. They think they've got a superior military. They're richer. Their life the future is better, but they don't see the mass transportation. They don't see the high-speed trains and the subway systems and the state-of-the-art airports. They don't see the highway system in China. They don't see all of the things that are going on in China because their media doesn't teach them that. What their media teaches them, and I say teaches because that's exactly what they're doing. They're teaching them how bad China is, because they don't want the Americans to know. They don't want their citizens to know how good China has it, because then they might question their politicians, their direction of their country, how much money they put into their military every year, all of these different things. So I thought that was a really good comment. Let's go. Too cute. I like your name, Too Cute. I hope it's a girl, you know what I mean? Like, this is how I read through the lines when I watch news reports from our news media and from videos like this. And I'm not sure which video this comes from. Anyway, let's keep going. I don't trust what they say so much. I don't take it at face value. But what I do is I observe the backgrounds of the videos. Oh yeah, like this one. Gweilo doesn't tell you how clean the street is, or how safe it is, or the fact that you don't see any drug addicts laying around or getting high on the streets or pissing in public. By observing the backgrounds, you know that China is clean, safe, and free of drug addicts. Compare this town with Oakland, California, or Kensington, Pennsylvania. What a stark contrast. So our media can tell all the lies they want, but it's up to us to think critically and watch carefully. We can see the truth about China if we don't let ourselves be fooled by Western media outlets. Keep up the good work, Gweilo. I will. I'm on the job. Thank you for spreading the truth. Americans and Canadians like us have been fooled and manipulated for too long by our own so-called freedom of the press, media, and by our useless governments. Well, you know, the idea that as a Canadian, I see it. I see it in family members. I see it in friends. How many times I've been called a communist or a communist sympathizer by friends and family? I don't even know how many. But the thing is that they've been indoctrinated. They've been told this over and over and over again through their whole existence in the Western world. None of the people that I know in Canada have ever been to China, but they have a preconceived idea of what China is, what the Chinese government is, and how the people think and act here. I guess freedom of the press is a freedom to tell all the lies they want about another country so that they can make themselves look better in the eyes of their own country. Simple and easy, guys. Let's move on. Let's move on to Dr. ZYZYX. I don't know where they get these names. Like, seriously, I don't. When will the New York Times... Oh, this must be the New York Times video I did. Those guys are dogs. When will the New York Times report on anti-China propagandists and shills on YouTube on the payroll of the CIA via the NED? I have no idea. I don't think the New York Times will ever report anything positive about China or anything negative about America concerning China. They have an agenda to make China look bad, discredit China, and that's just the way it is. That's their mandate, and I don't think it's ever going to change. Let's keep moving on here. Mikey E. See the news and report it. Not report the news as you see it. The Western media lost sight of that years ago. Isn't that the truth? Each and every one of these media outlets in the West has an agenda, has a political agenda. You got Fox, GOP, Republican. You got CNN, Democratic. You know, you've got CBC, Liberal in Canada. You know, you've got all of these news outlets, and they only tell you what their political party wants them to tell you. They don't tell you the real story. They don't. It's not like the olden days where they just report the news. They don't twist it to their agenda. And I think that's what Mikey E is saying here is that they used to report it properly. Now they report it as they see it, or as they want you to see it. Maybe is a better way of looking at it. Moving on, Remus Octavian Mocanu, M-O-C-A-N-U, Remus Octavian Mocanu. I have no idea where you get a name like that. What's advertising in the West is propaganda in China. What's advertising in the West is propaganda in China. Okay, as well as what's called government in the West is regime in China or Russia or Iran or Venezuela or any other country the West decides to stick these hate labels on. We see this all the time, and I made a video during my quarantine time period just going over this particular subject, and it actually went viral in China. The idea that the West can pick this name for them and this name for somebody else and put it out on every mainstream media, from Australia to the UK to Canada to New Zealand to all across America to India or whatever, but they always use the same words. Propaganda for China, propaganda for Venezuela, propaganda for Russia, but it's advertising in the States. And I've done many videos on this particular subject. It's how they want their people to see it. All of these questions have one thing in common, or all these comments have one thing in common, is they're showing you that the mainstream media in the West is trying to manipulate the way you see these other countries like China and Russia and Venezuela and Iran and, yes, North Korea or whatever. It doesn't matter. Those regimes, not governments, they're regimes. Because why? I don't know. I don't see the Americans calling their government a regime or the Canadian government a regime. Explain this to me. Comment section below, guys. Let's go on to this one. Tommy Lee. After decades, we Chinese, obviously Tommy Lee must be Chinese. And he says he's Chinese. After decades, we Chinese already realize that USA keeps coming to us, not to tell us how to be a good partner, but how to be a good servant of the USA. That's why we stopped listening to their bullshit. Laughing out loud. Okay. And I think that's right too. They've got a superiority complex over in the United States, and they look down on other countries like China or Russia or Venezuela or any of the countries around Mexico or any Central America or South American country. Even Canada, they look down on the Canadians. They're just another country a little bit closer to be manipulated. And they're not doing it for your benefit. When you get into human rights abuses in Xinjiang, supposed human rights abuses in Xinjiang, we are going to boycott everything out of Xinjiang. So when the Americans say that they're not going to buy anything out of Xinjiang Autonomous Region, mainland China, until they prove that it wasn't produced using forced labor, do you think they're doing it for you? Do you think they're doing it for the Uyghur people? Do you think they're doing it for human rights? No, no, no. They're doing it for money. They don't want the competition. They don't want you buying Xinjiang cotton because they got cotton in the southeastern United States. They don't want you buying Xinjiang tomatoes. Why not? Because the Imperial Valley in Southern California is in competition with the Xinjiang people. Do you think the Xinjiang people, the Uyghurs in Xinjiang, like to lose their jobs because there's boycotts? If they wanted to help the people in Xinjiang Autonomous Region, the Muslim people, the Han people, the Buddhists, the Taoist people, all of these different types of people, do you think that they would boycott everything that they produce in that whole entire area of China? No, they wouldn't do that. So when you look at are they trying to help people? No, they're not trying to help people. That everybody knows that. Even they know that. Well, obviously they do. Anyway, let's move on. Vox Abominable. I don't know where they get these names. Anyway, cool name, Vox Abominable. Let them. The more punches China can take, the more of a message it's sending to the less developed parts of the world. You can have the cool toys of the West without the white savior bullshit. Let them. The more punches China can take, the more of a message it's sending to the less developed parts of the world. Think about that. You see, this one actually resonates with me like pretty good. The idea that they keep attacking China, and China just takes it and keeps building their economy, selling more manufactured goods around the world, making more partners with the less developed countries in Africa, in Southeast Asia, in the Middle East, in South America and Central America. Oh yes, they are. Then these smaller countries can look and say, well, geez, you know, China's being beaten up by the Western capitalist countries, the Five Eyes and all of these other, but they just keep moving forward. And this is sort of a light for them at the end of the tunnel, saying, well, geez, you know, if China can do it, maybe we can do it, and they move the same direction. So China makes these partners. China does it. They don't take, as they say, without the white savior bullshit. Think about that. Now here's one you guys are gonna love. From Z-Wayne. Holy guacamole, the sky is so freaking blue. I've been around China for 18 plus years. It hasn't always been like this, guys and girls. I remember flying into Beijing, and you could hardly see across the street. It was just, the air was just brown. It was terrible. It was like, holy guacamole, but only the other way. But now China has electric high-speed trains. They've got electric subways in their city taking gas and diesel vehicles off the road. They have electric vehicles on the roads of China. They have electric scooters on the roads of China. They have windmill farms. They have solar farms. They have off-the-coast tidal wave. You know what I mean? But they're moving so fast in that direction that you can actually see in the last 18 years, actually big time in the last 10 years, how clean China has gotten. And people are starting to notice. People are actually noticing the blue skies in the backgrounds of my videos. And I think that's something that the Chinese people, the Chinese government can be proud of, like super proud of, because like, man, pollution, how does that go? The American people send their manufacturing to China, and then they bitch about China having a high carbon footprint. If they didn't send their manufacturing to China and they manufactured it themselves, they would have the big carbon footprint. Well, actually they do have a larger per person carbon footprint than China does, per capita. Okay, so as you send that manufacturing to another country, of course their pollution is going to go up. But China has been fighting that and been doing a pretty good job of it. So holy guacamole, the sky is so freaking blue. I believe you hit it right on the nail head there, Z-Wayne. Okay, here's the last one for the day. Cam Sang. Wouldn't it be better if China could have some kind of freedom? Limited freedom, question mark. Do a lot for China and for Chinese people. What do you think? Instead of a constant being accused of no freedom of speech. See, that's where I don't understand. Long half past. That's why where I don't understand where a lot of people are coming from. And I think this has got to do with the brainwashing, the misinformation that's being spouted by your mainstream media and the politicians in the West. The Chinese people have as much or probably more freedom than you're used to in the West. I can walk down the street with a beer in my hand. I can ride my e-bike everywhere around the city. I don't have to worry about a police officer shooting me. Why not? Because they don't carry guns. I have the freedom to jump on a subway and for 40 or 60 cents go downtown in a city of 8 million people. I have the freedom to jump on a high-speed train, and in a couple hours I can be 500 kilometers away for 20 bucks. Airfare from here to Shanghai would cost me maybe 300 RMB, 60 bucks, where in Canada it would cost me $600-700 to go the same distance. What kind of freedom are you talking about? Standing out in front of the White House and saying bad things about the president? Well, if you call that freedom, I guess you're not going to be doing that in China. But how does that make your life better? You know, so when people say stuff like this, I think, oh man, they're just not getting the big picture. What is freedom? That's a good question. Freedom to go to the hospital in the morning and have your CT scan in the afternoon. Yeah. The freedom to get up every morning and go out for breakfast because it's not so expensive that you can't afford it. $2 for breakfast. That's what we pay for breakfast here, like a bowl of beef or pork soup, or you know what I mean? It's a losafan, things like this. So what is freedom? Being able to walk down the street at 1 o'clock in the morning in the raunchiest area of a city of 8 million people and never have to worry about being accosted, robbed, killed, raped, or anything like this. What do you consider freedom? You know, so as far as being free, I think the Chinese people are probably more free than what you are. Freedom of speech. When that speech, and listen to this one really carefully, when that freedom of speech is used to degrade, to discredit, to belittle, demean other people on a regular basis, maybe that freedom of speech should be curtailed a little bit to stop that. Because as you lie, cheat, and steal, as you demean, as you call others down, as you belittle, as you discredit, as you disrespect other people through your freedom of speech, I don't think you're, how am I going to say this? I don't think that you're respecting their freedom of anything, because you are making their lives through your freedom of speech less. Think about it. Anyway, that's the video. A55 Blackview phone, under 120 bucks American, guys. Like smokes. Cell phones, like remember when the cell phones, the Apples and all of this other used to be the $800, $900, $1,000. Bingo, bango, bongo. You don't have to go that direction anymore. It'll be in the description below. And keep the comments coming, everybody, because I do read every comment, and a lot of them are really good. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And whatever you do, don't forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. Oh, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That little Gweilo 60 thing, bottom right-hand corner. Ching. Peace out. Bye now.